In this video, I'm going to reveal how one strategic partnership has led to millions and millions in sales and how you can find a strategic partnership that can help you do the exact same thing. So this story is actually not about me and my company, it's about one of my clients and how they revealed to me a strategy that they use to grow their business from zero to millions of dollars annually with one strategic partnership. So this company does dry tech restoration. Essentially, what they do is do the cleanup when there's some type of flood or some type of water damage to a property, right? It's a very expensive thing and it's an emergency-based service. So people don't typically shop this around too much because they don't really have the time or opportunity to do that. And my client started the business because they had a friend who was a plumber, and the plumber explained how oftentimes they would be called first and they would need to refer this business to somebody because they weren't the ones doing the actual cleanup. They would look and repair the pipe and figure out what caused the problem, hopefully stop it if there was an active leak, but then that was it. So rather than go after the end customer, the people that had the water damage to their property, their home, why not go after the plumber who already owned the relationship with the client? And that's exactly what they did. Their whole marketing strategy was around trying to build relationships with plumbers in the local area and then beyond, expand out from there, so that when somebody had this problem and the plumber got there and saw the damage, they're like, I got the perfect person for you, and sent them right to my client. So they literally started out doing old school tactics, which can be very effective with strategic partnerships and oftentimes are almost required because it's a relationship-based business, right? You want to build relationships with these people, and it's pretty easy to just Google them, see which plumbers in your area, and literally call them. Now that might sound scary for some people that don't have experience with cold calling, but when you're offering an opportunity, especially a strategic partnership, it's not that hard. Now, where else might you find plumbers? You could use something like Yelp. There's an entire directory. You could use Google My Business. You could also use something called Thumbtack, which I'm a big fan of. It's basically a marketplace, if you will, for home services. So you can post anything on there. There's professionals on there. You can see their reviews, and you can definitely find your strategic partners on there. In this example, if your strategic partners was plumbers. Now you might ask yourself, why on earth would the plumber want to partner with the dry tech restoration company? What's in it for them? And that is the right question to ask yourself if you're trying to land a strategic partner, is what's in it for them? Obviously, there's something in it for you, but don't focus on that, right? Focus on what's in it for them. And in this particular case, it was that they were offering a revenue share program to the plumbers for the referral. So essentially, this is revenue the plumber was not going to get before because they couldn't do the work, and now they're going to be able to refer the work to my client, the Dry Tech Restoration Company, and get additional revenue for that. They're already literally there standing in front of the homeowner who has this unfortunate problem. Typically first they'll say, hey, is this something you can do? Can you help clean this up? I mean, this is a huge mess. And they'll say, no, but we have a partner that we love, we recommend. It's this person, can I put you in touch with them? Person says yes, and boom, the deal is literally that easy. Now think about how much better this can work than the Dry Tech Restoration Company saying, hey, I'm gonna try to rank at the top of Google, I'm gonna spend money on Google ads. The reality is, with this emergency-based problem, when there's literally water in your basement, you don't do a lot of shopping around. If the plumber shows up and says, hey, this is the person you wanna talk to, usually you go with that person because you don't have a lot of time to research and try to figure it out. You have water literally sitting in your house and you must get someone now. So one of the best strategies is before you show up to pitch a strategic partnership to someone else, you want to figure out what's in it for them and put together a really good program that's very clear on exactly how it's going to work. Now, certain industries have specific rules and regulations around profit sharing. So you want to look into that for your specific industry because it's not always allowed if there's not specific licenses or certain industries aren't even allowed to share. So you got to look into that. But in many industries, it's completely allowed to do profit sharing for referrals. So if that's the case and it makes sense in your business, you want to think to yourself, who has my customer base? Who already has the relationship with my customer base? And how can I get in touch with them? I'll give you another great example on a different type of business. Oftentimes, if you own a website design company, which I used to own, when you get there, you design the website, you're helping the client, they would often ask for IT help. Because a lot of times people think that IT and websites are the same thing. They're really not, especially on a larger scale. Like a managed service provider can provide way more services than typically any type of website designer. But there's that natural question they're going to ask because they think you're the expert in the room. And to many people, it's all lumped into the same category, right? Computers, tech, it's the same. So that gives you the opportunity to partner with an IT services company and create some type of rev share where you're benefiting, in this example, from referring that business in. And it doesn't always have to be a profit share. Sometimes there's this real synergy between the two businesses where you'll be able to consistently pass business back and forth. So maybe you can't share in the profits or it doesn't make sense for your business, but perhaps you're going to have people that they need and they're going to have people that you need. The first time I saw this example of this like symbiotic relationship was when I was in a B&I group many years ago. It was a networking group I was a part of many years ago. And I saw this like real estate power team, they call themselves, because in reality, a real estate transaction has so many different professionals touch that transaction. You've got everything from the real estate agent, you've got the mortgage broker, you've got the real estate attorney, you've got a title company, sometimes you're getting a photographer, right, to film or take pictures of the property. There's so many pieces of the puzzle there, and all of these people typically are involved in the transaction in some way, shape, or form. So imagine for a second, you're a photographer that specializes in real estate. Let's say it's high-end real estate. You do amazing pictures. You also might do drone work, so you can get beautiful pictures and video of the property from that bird's eye view that everybody loves, especially on high-end properties. It would make a lot of sense for you to try to partner with real estate agents so that their job is easier, right? They trust you, you build a relationship with them, they know you're going to do a great job, the client's going to be impressed. What this strategy does is it leverages the relationship that's already in place. So when the agent says, hey, I've got the perfect person that's going to take pictures of your property, make it look fantastic, they're going to do aerial footage, I'm going to put you in touch with them. It's going to be a little bit pricey, but the reality is this home's super valuable. The pictures and videos are what sell homes online, so it's worth the investment. Oftentimes that person is going to take their advice because they're the expert. They already built a relationship and they trust that person. So it makes your job of closing the deal much, much easier in this particular example. There are endless examples of how strategic partnerships can make you millions of dollars. And I urge you to think about who owns the audience that you have, who has the relationships with these people, with your dream end client, and how can you start to foster relationships and build strategic partnerships with all the people that own your client base. And next, think what incentives can you provide them? Are you going to be able to send business their way? Are you going to be able to offer some type of monetary incentive? Are you going to help them in other ways, shape, or form? Are you going to help provide services for their business for free? There's so many creative ways that you can think of to how you start a relationship and then nurture that relationship with them. And sometimes this is called like a hubs and nodes strategy where you literally have centers of influence. You've built 10 relationships, let's say, for example, in 10 different local towns, all of which these people are sending business to you regularly. So rather than always having to fish for a new client, you basically have a bunch of ponds that are stocked with fish and someone's going to go scoop the net and grab one for you and hand it to you. So an exercise that I think is super valuable is just to kind of sit down, whether it's just you or you and your team, ideally if you have a team, and look at all the people that own the relationships that you want, all the people that have those relationships with the end clients, and start to brainstorm who would be the best strategic partners, and then come up with a plan for how you would incentivize them to send business your way and go out and build these relationships. It's time consuming. It's not a get rich quick scheme, but there really is no such thing as getting rich quick. There's only getting rich for real. And I think building these relationships is one of the most valuable things you can do, provided your business supports something like that. And almost every business has the opportunity for some level of strategic partnerships. Some are much better than others, but I'm sure there's some in your industry that you might not be thinking about. So I hope you spend the time and energy to do it. I hope this helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe so I can provide more tips and actionable strategies for you to grow your business. And I'll see you in the next one.